Sai Ram, offering our most humble salutations at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagawan. ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯ ಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಂತಾನಂತ ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆರಂಭಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Today's program is a workshop on the practical aspects on how to follow the 9-point code of conduct. Our today's program will be as follows. We will start with a welcome address by our District President Sri Sai Chandrashekar, followed by keynote address by our State President Sri Venkatramana Gosavi sir. Now I'll hand it over to Sai Chandrashekar sir.
Om Sri Sai Ram. My humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Lord, Bhagawan Sri Satya Sai Baba. My dear Swami, respected State President Sri Venkatramana Gosavi sir, respected State Spiritual Coordinator Sri Sundar Anantharaman sir, all the office bearers and my dear devotees. A very, very loving Sai Ram to each one of you. It's indeed a pleasure to welcome each one of you here for this wonderful program. Some of us may be wondering, I've attended so many programs on 9-point code of conduct. So why one more? I'm sure that might be uppermost in at least some of us, if not all of us. Once someone asked Swami, your discourses, same thing you keep saying again and again, love, 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 everything. Don't you get bored of repeating all this? And Swami said, I've been telling you for the last 50 years, but how much are you following? So I have to keep reminding you once again, and that is my duty. Swami said, Chappatam na badhyata, tarvata mi karma. Right? So I think it's always good to kind of recapitulate this, use it as a sounding board, and then use it as something which will spur our sadhana and take it forward. I think one of the things about this 9-point code of conduct, if you see here, like anything of Swami's message, it's very, very simple to understand and very profound to implement. Right? Now, if you just see these 9 points, they may look like, general guidelines. And if you see the poster in front, you would see that there are some which are related to personal sadhana, some related to community service, and some to family. But if you look at it from the other perspective, you will find that some of them relate to Bhakti Marga, some of them to Karma Marga, and some of them to Jnana Marga. So it's something like an essence of everything that Swami has told us all along. Now, this 9-point code of conduct was given to us by Swami in the year 1980 during his 55th birthday year. And at that time, some of the elders who were sitting with Swami and discussing this asked Swami, how do we know if anyone is actually implementing the 9-point code of conduct? And to know the answer, you'll have to be here till 3 p.m. because end of the day, you will get the answer as to what Swami said. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Offering my most humble and reverential pranams at Bhagawan's divine lotus feet, I pray for his presence and for his divine benediction on all of us today to guide us through this entire day's Sadhana Shibhir, so that when we go out from here, we're actually, let's say, 1% or 5% or 10%, depending on what each person's, prarabdha is. I think, let us aim to go out from here being better than when we came in. Respected Sundar sir, our state spiritual coordinator for Gents, Brother Sai Chandrashekar, our district president for Bangalore South, all the conveners, of the Bangalore South, including respected Dr. Ashwath, who is here today. I've had the privilege of many times thanking him for his graciousness in accommodating so many programs here in Sai Gitanjali. And, I once again want to thank him for hosting all of us here today. All the sisters who are here from not only the Sai Gitanjali Samiti, the entire Bangalore South, as well as members of the Vrindavan Bhajan group, and all the members of the Satya Sai Seva organization who are here today. Whenever I am asked to speak here, I have to remind myself that first and foremost, like I am a member of this Samiti, it is very, very important that irrespective of who you are in life, from the Satya Sai organization's point of view, first and foremost you must be a member. And therefore, as a member, you are duty bound to be, following what is ordained by Bhagawan, in the divine charter, as well as in the rules and regulations which are framed and subject to change from time to time. The divine charter is constant because God is the only constant, but the rules and regulations keep changing. So in line with that message, I think Ivattina Dina ಈ 9-point ಕೋಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಡಕ್ಟ್ 9 ಅಂಶದ ನೀತಿ ಸಂಹಿತೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಏನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ, ಮತ್ತು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ವೆನೆವರ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್, ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಸರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಡೀಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ಅಗ್ರೀಡ್ that we must ask all the people from the various samitis, from the various districts, actually to come and speak and share their experience. Adharinda, what he has done is he has actually made me the first speaker wherever I am going. So I keep thinking every time in front of Bhagavan, I keep saying, what is it that I can communicate with my brothers and sisters with the limited experience that I have? And what he has done is in each place, like I was there with him in Tumkur, we said something very relevant. I was there with him in Chikbalapur, we said something about what Bhagavan said, in one of his divine discourses. I was there with him in Bangalore Central District, where I quoted Bhagavan's 55th birthday discourse, and where he has extensively spoken about the organization and what members of the organization have to do. But today, what he has done is he has made it very special. What he did is, he made me to spend the last 24 hours, in the presence of some really, committed people to the Satya Sai Seva organization, as well as to the Sri Satya Sai Central Trust, as well as to Bhagavan's education mission in the form of the Satya Sai School. So from yesterday morning 5 a.m. till about yesterday evening, I was there along with our state president, our former state president, Sri Nagesh Dakappa. He is now, as you know, the member of the executive council of the Sri Satya Sai Global Council. He was there with me. Sri Vasuki sir, who is the convener of our trust, was there with me. And a number of elders who have been associated with Bhagavan, especially the Mahilas of Davangere district. I think Swami has given them some 20 or 25 personal interviews. And in fact, he went on telling them, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಈಗ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆ ಗಂಡಸರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ, ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ, is what he has told them. And that's how, if you see in that district, even till today, large number of Mahilas are actively involved, in the Satya Sai, Samiti, as well as in the Satya Sai, education. So I want to share with you one particular experience of mine, because in this very same location in 2018, when we conducted one Sadhana Shibhir, I had shared some of the mistakes which I have made, as an office bearer, where I have interacted with people. And, in 2018, immediately after we celebrated the 50th year of the Vrindavan Bhajan group, I had come here and spoken and shared the mistakes I made. So yesterday morning, sisters and brothers, there was actually an opportunity for me to make one more phenomenal mistake. Where, because of my role, and I have to keep reminding myself that this role is temporary, and being a devotee is something which we should pray so that we continue to remain with him not only in this life but life after life. So because I was the state president, the meeting started by saying, state president will say what we should do. And it was a particularly ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡದ ಶಬ್ದ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಿನ ಥರ, ಕಗ್ಗಂಟು ಅಂದರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ವ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಗಂಟದ ಮೇಲೆ ಗಂಟು ಹಾಕಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಕಗ್ಗಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ. In the English language, it's actually called the Gordian knot, which is very, very difficult to untie. So yesterday morning, between our Satya Sai Seva organization people and the Satya Sai education people there, the Ishwaramma Trust in Davangere, we had a very, very nasty situation. Which, if I was alone in that meeting, I want to be very candid, I want to tell you, because ಸುಂದರ್ ಸರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಭಾಳ ಜನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸರ್ ಏನು ಸರ್ ಈ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿತ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 6 occasions ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿತ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಟಿಲ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಸೇ, ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಕರೆಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, as Brother Sai Chandrashekar rightly said, we have to understand whether we are really implementing it in our lives. Matte idu, what is happening, courtesy of this Sadhana Shibhir which is being conducted, people like me, people like you, whoever is there, who's following this, in your life you will become very, very conscious of every situation and say, in this particular time, place and circumstance, as Bhagawan keeps referring, ಒಂದು ಸಮಯ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ, are we conducting ourselves in accordance with his divine directions? You will keep thinking, because otherwise what will happen is you will say, no, I am like this only, I will not change. A lot of people will say, sir, now is there hinge sir now. Like he gave me an example where he went last week or 10 days ago, he actually went to one very famous mandir which has been blessed by Bhagawan. And there they chanted the Vibhuti mantra or the Shanti mantra in a very, very different style. So Sundar sir went and told them, this is not what Swami told us, this is not the way to chant this. Late sir, మా ఊర్లో మీరు ఇలాగే సార్ చెప్పేది, is what they have told him. So how can it be possible that God has given you direction? Okay, you want to be a member of this organization, but you will not listen to God. You will say, no, we are like this only. So I think each and every time we have to keep putting this bar, or what we call as the golden standard, and say, is my conduct in line with what Swami is saying? So yesterday morning, sisters and brothers, that meeting actually, because when a small difference of opinion between two people is not addressed properly, it has the tendency to actually explode and become something so big that all the elders of the organization had to get involved. So Dakapasar he just arrived from Ireland where he was staying with his son for 2 months. As soon as he came, he was kind enough to accompany us yesterday morning at 5 a.m. and we went to Davangere and we started this meeting after Raukalam at 10:35. So this side is going on saying something, that side people are saying something. Then we had 2 options in front of us. And I want to just share this with you in great detail by using the 10 minutes that Ratnakar has given me today. Now, Dakapa sir and Vasuki sir had 2 choices. One is they could have asserted using their authority. And they could have said, I am the former state president. I am now the member of the executive council of the Sri Satya Sai Global Council. And Vasuki sir is the trust convener. Okay, they could have said, illa ನೀವು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ತಯಾರಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. That's one option. Obviously, all of you will agree with me, right? There are always options available with us when we have a sticky situation in front of us where he could have done this. And then it's quite likely that they would have listened to him temporarily, but when the meeting was over, I think the problem would have come back. Because when you are forced to do something, it is not in your natural thing. ಸೊ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು, ಅವರೇನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಲಿ, ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಾವು ಯಥಾ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸೇ ದಟ್ in the afternoon when Sundar sir will cover this entire 9-point code of conduct in great detail, there are 2 points which are basically about speech management, about how we speak with one another, how we respond when we are provoked. What is it that Bhagavan wants us to do? Because this is an organization which is full of volunteers. Nobody is officially bound to anybody here, right? You can walk off. Like yesterday, Gangadhar Shetty sir's grandson, Ashwin Shetty, he is also a member of the Education Trust. He actually said, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಈ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮಗೇನು ಲಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. But is that the right way of speaking? So what Dakappa sir did is he brought his characteristic temperament of patience. He brought his characteristic temperament of being very calm. He brought his characteristic temperament of speaking very softly and sweetly with everybody. And so what he did is, he took more than 30 minutes to tell these people over last 30 years how many mistakes they have made. And he did not provoke anybody. He gave a lot of data to them because he was state president for 33 full years of the state, and he is aware of many of these samitis, many of these education institutions, how they were started. Dakappa sir ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದಂದರೆ, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಸತ್ಯಸಾಯಿ ಸೇವಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಡಕಪ್ಪ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು. With great detail and with great amount of patience he explained to them. And he said, there is a tendency among devotees today to say, ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಸರ್, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. He said, ಈ ಥರ ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ನೀವು ಯಾರು. None of you should speak like this from today, because there are so many things which you have done in Davangere Samiti where you have not even had the courtesy to pray to Bhagawan before you made that decision. And there are many decisions. I don't want to take more time because this is a very important workshop. There are a number of mistakes which we as devotees make sometimes, where we go against the wishes of the Lord. We go against the command which He has given us. And one of the command is that we should speak softly and sweetly. Okay, so I want to basically say to all of you today that first of all, I want to say, over these last 6 sessions which I have attended with Sundar sir over the last few months, I am the number one beneficiary, because whether it is in my house, whether it is in my official work, whether it is in the way we are dealing with the organization, we are able to go and tell everybody today because of this 9-point code of conduct, which, as Sai Chandrashekar very nicely said, Bhagawan has this great ability to actually convey the most complex of things in a very simple manner, but the implementation is very profound. I think he has summarized it very nicely in one sentence. So I want to say to you that when he explained all of these things to them, and he went on telling how many things we have done wrong, both in terms of following Swami's message, in terms of the laws of the land. Ultimately, you and I are citizens of this country, right? So we also have to operate within this Samiti has to operate within the laws of the land. So he made a number of examples and he very calmly communicated to them. And then he said, now he says, I'm no longer actively involved in the organization. He says, as per the All India President, I'm only an advisor. If Venkat comes and says, sir, please advise me on this situation, I will advise him. Otherwise, he has to do his job and I will just stay at home. I'm very happy because I have done this now for so long. Because he requested me, I've come here today and I've told you all the things which are right. And that speaking softly, speaking sweetly, speaking without raising his voice, I think what happened is something which was very, very difficult situation because it was emotionally charged. And you have to understand, all those Mahilas who are there in that place, they are not ordinary people. Like one of them was the Education Minister of Karnataka. And Swami was speaking to her every day. And she was there in this meeting. She is 90 years old. So Dakappa sir said, I have to respect that person's age also. I can't treat anybody badly because for 90 years she is still coming to the Samiti and she is taking active part in the affairs of the organization, of the school. He said, I have to treat her with respect. So sisters and brothers, I'm just saying, based on my own personal experience, based on something which Swami directly taught me a lesson by being in that place, I think all of us should look back for the last 6 months, or the last 1 year and say, did we in any way contribute to hurting somebody? Did we in any way contribute to making this thing constructive, or did we make it destructive? Did we at any point of time think, what will Bhagawan think about us if we conduct ourselves in this manner? So I have been very candid. I have shared a number of things which I have not done properly, but I continue to learn and I continue to become better and better every day. And what Swami is doing is, wherever you follow his command, I think he takes over that situation and he solves it. And finally, yesterday, all our Samiti people were very happy. The Education Trust people there were very, very happy, And the whole thing concluded in a very nice manner, where everybody said, sir, innondu sala ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ತರೋದಲ್ಲ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ದೇ ಮೇಡ್ ಟು Dhakapa sir yesterday. I thought this is the most appropriate way, for me to start today's session and communicate my experience to you. So please, I pray for Bhagawan's blessing on each and every one of us, that to the maximum extent possible, let him guide us and bless us so that we follow the 9 point of code of conduct. Even because we are human and we are bound to make mistakes, ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಕರುಣೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ಸು ಈ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯ ದಿವ್ಯ ಚರಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಜೈ ಸಾಯಿರಾಮ್.